The self stays as it is, but the projection of the self as the soul involved in growing in evolution, that is called the psychic being. The psychic being is always pure, always linked with the divine, always full of joy, always full of sunshine, unerring in its perception. It never makes a mistake. And yes, by aspiration, by meditation, concentration, prayer, we build a bridge between our outer person and the psychic within. Then our life can be guided by the psychic. We will commit no mistake, no error, and we will be warned against every possible ungodly move. There is always a pull back, a kind of chill feeling, a kind of sinking feeling. In many ways, the psychic makes itself felt when you are about to do something unpsychic, foreign to its divine nature. But to make this psychic awake in our external being is a very difficult process. And to do that, we have to reorganize our daily life in such a way that there are no unpsychic elements jarring on the inner psychic in our environment. Movements like anger, movements like violence, not necessarily physical violence, movements like hatred, these are like clouds covering the sun, and the psychic feels rejected. Each time we accept these dark moments, the psychic feels denied. It may warn, but we are not aware enough to listen to the intimation. So we say we have to create a climate favorable to the psychic in our daily life. And how do we do it? Simply, by eliminating from our being every moment that is contrary to the purity, to the innocence, to the light, to the purity of the psychic. And positively, by developing those moments in our life, being kind to people, being loving, being selfless, eliminating desire. That way, every moment that elevates our consciousness, expands our consciousness, and encourages us, our selflessness to grow. That is the climate in which the psychic feels encouraged to come to the front, to play a part in our daily life. And we never say that the nearest reflection of the psychic love, of the psychic movement, is a human mother's love for its child. It just comes. It is very pure. Maybe with some it is colored because it is her child. That's another matter. But still, essentially that movement has a psychic quality. And it is a fact that it is easier for women to awaken and psychicize their life than for men. Women are so made, constituted, that they are strong in their emotional part. They can give themselves. Men may exploit that quality, that is another matter. But giving themselves comes naturally more to a woman than to a man. And that is why the psychic influence is more evident in the inner life of women than of men. So women have an advantage, but they should utilize the advantage and not allow it to be corrupted by vital invasion, confusing one with the other. Very often one mistakes emotional moments for psychic moments. Now, how to distinguish? An emotional moment, if it is not fulfilled, there is a reaction, there is depression, there is anger, there is depression to say the least. But a psychic moment, if it is not responded to, well, it just stays. There is no reaction, but because it has no flame. A psychic moment does not leave an aftermath. It just stays fine. But an emotional moment carries a restlessness. Similarly, a psychic intimation does not come usually in words. It is not that you hear or you see a writing. You may, very rarely. But the psychic intimation is just a feeling. You just feel something authentic. No, this is not right. No, this is not to be done. Yes, this is to be done. It is an imperative where no questioning is permitted. You feel, how is it I didn't know it before? It is so obvious. So the psychic faculty in us is direct, simple, unmistakable. It is only if we are insincere to ourselves, camouflage our desires in the name of aspiration, that the psychic flame does not burn. This is the first phase of this movement of transformation of consciousness. This is the aim of our discipline, to awaken the psychic, draw it forward, establish it as a ruling factor in life, and thereafter, it's not the end. Thereafter, take the next step to recast your nature in the mold of the psyche. That is called psychicization. That is, the whole body, the whole system, the mind, the emotions, the life force, and the physical consciousness, they all function according to the demands of the psychic being. They are all colored by the psychic hue, and nothing jars. All is love, all is gentle, all is sunshine. A person who is psychically awake, you will never find that person depressed. Whatever happens, that person is smiling. I have seen such people, always smiling, making light of everything. And even when they suffer, they are not bitter. If anybody harms them, there is a bad turn, there is no resentment. You take it as part of life. And there is a peace about it. A peace which the psychic always carries. Right purity, solid peace, and a radiating joy. You cannot be in the presence of a person who is psychically awake without feeling some joy, bubbling joy within yourself. And that is always a sign. When you step into that presence, you feel happy. You feel great. You may be, from the moral point of view, a leper, and a very sinful man in the point of view of the church. But in the presence of a psychically realized or awakened person, you are uplifted, elevated, purified, and you feel changed. But all that requires a certain homework, of which we have got now some preliminary ideas, and it always helps to read lives of saints, not their lectures or teachings, but their lives, how they lived, how they influenced, how they scaled the heights of consciousness. That, it has a power, it communicates, and as you read, it purifies, it eliminates certain dross. So I have always held that to read the life of a saint is more spiritually helpful than to study his teaching. Life itself is a teaching, life itself is a message, a dynamic message. And when you come to a place like this, where such perfected beings have lived and worked, say for 50 years or more, it is only their physical presence which is not there. Their vibration, their atmosphere, their charm is there throbbing everywhere. And you got to stay in a place like this. I don't say this place alone, a place like this is spiritually purifying, elevating, and like you say, recharging your battery. I think I have said enough, and I don't think we need to ask questions now. That's right.